Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching, and your host on this series. This is the place where you ask a question, and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know once again that I am not a therapist, and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Friday, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to those questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's get started with the questions for this week. Our first question comes from Jasmina, who is in Athens, Georgia. Jasmina writes, I had a dream the other night and I'd like help figuring out if there is a meaning, and if so, what it is. I was on a train going through a tunnel for a long time. When the train came out of the tunnel, the sunlight was so bright, I had to divert my eyes until they adjusted to the light. Looking out of the window, there were lots of food crops everywhere. I woke up feeling happy. That's a very good dream, Jasmina. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for asking me about this dream. Now, of course, with all dreams, the meaning is related to the dreamer. And what I mean by that is, what does a train mean to you? What does the sun mean to you? What do vegetable crops mean to you? This is what I'm referring to when I say the meaning is determined by the dreamer. If you have a different meaning than the next person for a train, then you have to go with your meaning, how you view trains versus someone else. Now, there are some universal meanings out here for certain things. Train is one of them. With the train, it's a mode of transportation, and it's how you're moving through life. When you're in a tunnel, you're not able to see. So think about what's going on in your life too with this train, because it's giving you information about what's going on in your life and how it's going to turn out, or at least the potential outcome for whatever it is you're dealing with. As I said, you're going through the train, you're traveling through your life, and the question is too, how fast was the train going? Was it going really fast? Are you taking your time? How fast is the train going? When you're on the train, how do you feel? Do you feel happy? Do you feel sad? Do you feel anxious? What's your emotion when you're on the train? In addition to that, if the train is in a tunnel, I know that if you're in certain cities like Chicago and New York and probably some other places too, I know this is in Europe, where you exit the train is underneath. It's in the tunnel area. So did you pass exits? That's important, because that would say you weren't getting off, or you weren't taking certain options, or you weren't getting off at certain stops, or you were focused on where you were going. With going through a tunnel, as I said, usually it's dark there, meaning you can't see. So you need to know which direction you're headed in on the train. And if you're coming out and the sun is blaring at you, was the sun setting or was it rising? You have to look at that too. When you got through the tunnel, you looked out, you saw the sun, but you also saw green crops, which is food, which is nourishment. So you're going to be nourished at the end of this tunnel ride. You're going to have sustenance and food, and that can mean wealth. That can mean a number of things. But what do food crops mean to you? So when you figure out the meaning of each part of the dream in relationship to what it means to you, then you can suss out the meaning of the dream. You also have to look at, as I said, what you're going through in your life right now. What time of night was it when you had the dream? Was it in the middle of the night? Was it between, say, 4 and 6 in the morning? Because that's a time of premonition, of getting something that will happen. If it's shortly after midnight, it could be that you're working through an issue that you're having. I would say this is a good dream because you're going through life, you're moving through this tunnel, you're not able to see where you're going. You know where you want to go, but you can't see where you are, and yet you will because the sunlight is there. We have to have the sun to live. That's light. So I would envision it as a good dream. Put this dream and its meaning away for a couple of weeks in the back of your mind and see what transpires and see what's happening in your life. That's going to give you a lot of information about the meaning of this dream too. So I hope that helps. Let me know how it all turns out. Comment below or email me. So, all right, let's move on to the topic for today. Our topic, goddesses. I love the goddesses, and I've talked about them before. I'm talking about them today just to give a bit more information on them. Now, goddesses are energy and they have attributes. Every attribute that you can think of, there is a goddess that has that attribute. They help us to heal. They're also wisdom. We have the masculine and the feminine energy. The masculine energy is action, and the feminine energy is wisdom. They really have to work together. And what we're working on is balancing and healing both energies within ourselves, the masculine and the feminine. A lot of times we really need help with the feminine energy because both energies within us need help, I should say, because we need to balance it. We need to heal our traumas and our hurts. And when you are hurt, it's the goddess energy, the mother energy that you go to for healing. There's a lot of goddesses out here. You can choose one that you want to connect with and reach out to her. It doesn't matter whether you're a male or female. You still have goddess energy within you. You still have goddess energy available. Each one of those goddesses, the attributes are within you, and they're also everywhere. So everything that is actually created is the goddess because it is the energy that gives birth. So everything that is created comes through that mother energy. The goddesses really want us to work with them. And it's important when you are going to work with them to get quiet and say a prayer to them, ask them to make themselves known to you, to operate in your life, and to guide your healing process. They will help you. There's a lot of them too. So with the goddesses, I'm in the process of doing some research on a book about some of the goddesses, not all of them, but do your own homework. And even Goddess Mary, I call her Goddess Mary versus Mother Mary because she's a goddess. And she was the mother of Jesus, so she is a goddess. There is Goddess Lakshmi and Goddess Padma, Goddess Tara, Prajnaparamita in Hinduism is also goddess. It's that original form. The goddesses are pregnant with everything that is manifest. So every thought that you have, everything that you want to create, it's created through the goddesses because the goddesses are pregnant with whatever it is your thought form is and whatever it is you want to manifest. So hopefully you want to manifest something wonderful. Anyway, that's what I wanted to tell you about the goddesses. I will talk much more over various videos on the different goddesses. So send me your comments about them. Do you have a particular goddess that you're drawn to? What do you know about the goddesses? If you have questions about them, please comment below or send me an email. All right. Our next question comes from Peg, who is in Omaha, Nebraska. Peg writes, I work in finance and have been working from home since the pandemic. My employer wants me to go back to the office. I know there are benefits to working in the office, but I'd rather continue to work from home. How do I approach this with my employer? That's a good question, Peg. I've been hearing a lot and reading a lot about employers wanting the employees to come back to the office for various reasons. And I would suspect one of the reasons is productivity. It's highly probable that the employer feels that you would be more productive if you're in the office. Could be a number of reasons. In your particular case, wanting to work from home, yes, you do need to approach your employer about this and have a solution in mind when you go to your employer, because there's a reason that you're being asked to go back to the office. If you have done a really good job since the pandemic, you've been a high performer, you've done all of your work, you've done everything that you have been asked to do, then you have a stronger argument for being able to stay at home. And I also believe that employers aren't mean. They want productivity, and they also want to benefit their employees, or at least that's my view of most employers. That may not be all of them, but I'm sure it's most of them. With an employer, you have to go to the employer with a solution rather than just saying this is something you want to do. So you need to be able to build your case and state your case and state why you want to be at home. And it really can't be because you feel more comfortable there or you like working from home. There has to be some other benefit. Do you have kids at home? Are you more productive there? Are you ill? What are the reasons that you want to stay at home? I would certainly contemplate that, and hopefully, your employer is amenable to this. If they are not, then you have to make the decision. Do you stay with the company or do you move on to something else? And of course, that's entirely up to you. If you're a valued employee and the company doesn't want to lose you, like I said, you're a high performer, then usually the employer will work with you. It could be that you negotiate a deal where you're at home 1 day a week or 2 days a week and you go into the office a few days a week. It's always a good idea to figure out some compromise. The other thing that you can do is check with other employees, your fellow cohort. Are they working from home still? Are they back in the office? If you have other cohorts who are working from home and not being asked to go into the office, or maybe they were and they figured out how to stay at home, talk to them and find out what argument they made for being able to stay at home. I know that there's a myriad of reasons why employers would want their employees to be back in the office. And it's about productivity, depending on the company. So send me a note and let me know how you got on with that. I would really like to know. Put a comment below or send me an email. So thank you. Thank you for that question. All right, we have come to the end of the questions for this week. I really appreciate you watching the videos and being here. I appreciate all of you who are here, and thank you. If you have questions for me, please send them to padmacoach@icloud.com. If you would like to work with me as an astrologer or coach, please send your query to me at the website, which would be marie@padmalifecoaching.com. I look forward to seeing you back here next week. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That does help me a lot. And spread the word too. Send the videos to your friends and colleagues. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.